When researching ACA's Instagram posts or Instagram account, I noticed a couple pros and cons that I think the organization would benefit from looking further into. A pro that I noticed was that ACA follows roughly 250 accounts while they have nearly 4,000 followers, which is a great ratio for nonprofit organizations. I noticed how ACA utilizes different features on Instagram, which keeps them up to date and they actually have a modern Instagram page. They don't just post pictures with, long captions and go about their day. ACA uses the IGTV feature, which is a feature that allows the account to post videos longer than a minute and 30 seconds. A con that I noticed was that um, a con that I noticed was that ACA has nearly 700 plus Instagram posts. Now, I guess this could be, depending on how you view it, you could view it as a pro and a con. It could be looked at as a pro because all those old hashtags, could still curate engagement and increase account activity, but it can be viewed as a con because it could make it seem like the Instagram account is cluttered with old photos, that don't really have anything to do with the brand or the image anymore. And those photos or those posts date back to like 2013. So I think that the Instagram account could benefit from a cleanup, meaning that any post from 2013 to 2017 should get deleted, in my opinion. Um, Another thing that ACA does a really good job of is using hashtags in their captions. Now, these hashtags or these posts, contain anywhere from 0 to 10 plus hashtags. And what was interesting to find was that the posts that contain zero hashtags normally you normally see the same amount of engagement as posts that contain 3 to 5 hashtags. So that was an interesting find because I think that the a common conception is that the more hashtags you post, the more engagement your post will receive. When this fact comes out or this data comes out and it immediately contradicts that. So I think that was one of the most interesting finds when researching the data analytics and things like that. Another interesting thing that I was able to discover was that of those 700 plus posts, about 90% of those are strictly images. 1% are videos, and 9% is what we call carousel posts. Carousel posts are, well, it's a feature that Instagram uses that allows the user to post more than one photo in any given post. So this actively like allows the followers or the viewers, whoever's looking on the Instagram account, to swipe through the post and seeing, multiple images on one post. So while 90% of those posts are images actually receive less amount of engagement as carousel posts. And carousel posts only make up 9% of the post content. So I think that the organization would benefit from making carousel posts more frequently. It was also discovered that the account sees the most activity or the most engagement on Thursdays. And on Thursdays around 5 p.m. is when the peak engagement, happens. So knowing this information and moving forward, I feel like the organization would benefit from posting like important announcements or important events, upcoming events, anything that they really want the followers to see, on Thursdays around 5 p.m. And one last suggestion that I have for the Instagram page is that I feel like the account should utilize the 24-hour story feature, which allows followers or anyone really to click on the profile picture of the Instagram account and see whatever story or whatever image video that they would like to post for 24 hours. And after 24 hours, the post deletes. So start it all over again tomorrow. I think that that would really increase engagement and attract a younger crowd to the Instagram account, which is, the ultimate goal. So, yeah, if ACA takes these suggestions and this data, keeps this data in mind, I think that engagement, activity, followers could all increase within the next month, really.
Alright, hi everyone. For my screencast for our group project, I had the Facebook section for the ACA. I'll just give a little brief rundown. I essentially went through their Facebook page, looked at their followers, looked at what their overall likes were in total. Uh, Pretty much scrolled through the most recent 3 months of activity that they've had, all their posts. Tried to make some categories along the lines of, what these posts would fall under as far as, you know, as we'll look at the graph here, community news, student work, teacher news work, and anything kind of related to them. So artist, upcoming events, uh, all types of things. And as you would imagine, ACA news kind of was at the top. I mean, it's in regards to them. A lot of it was artist related, especially right now with COVID-19. They're doing a lot to support local artists. Oh, excuse me, who have lost their incomes. So obviously, as you can see, this post is a little bit more elevated than usual, but still more or less it tends to be around this average for most of these months as well. Um, I basically talked about how there's a common theme here in that the lower end here for student work and teacher news, and sometimes community news as well, these posts typically have the most interactions. They have the most involvement, um, most like the most likes, most engagement, most comments. It just seems that these posts garner way more activity than anything related to artist or the ACA news. Um, I did a little bit of some stats here for myself because I couldn't find anything or find anyone to make this work, so I did it myself. I just took the average likes of all the posts and did basically a percentage to see how much these posts were averaging in total in a month. So, I added up all the likes and then broke them down into their respective categories. And you can see, I mean, student work had the least amount of posts at 3, yet somehow managed to get 31% of their total likes in this 1 month that I chose. Whereas the ACA News, which is it's a broad, you know, category. It's got artists, events, you know, everything. And they gathered nearly the same amount of likes as a post with 3 compared to 15 or 16. Community news and teacher news obviously did not, you know, gather as much, but they still gathered a very good, like a very respective amount of likes for the numbers, considering what this category of ACA news was. So I essentially just kind of broke down more a little bit in depth here about how Facebook is essentially their biggest platform. It's, I would say, probably their hub. I mean, if when you compare it to their other forms of social media, Facebook is kind of the powerhouse. but they're not really capitalizing on that. As I'll talk about here in my suggestions, there's no hashtag, there's no there's no I guess action to push followers or engage followers to the point of also sharing the post. Another common trend I noticed is the lack of shares on their Facebook page. Their community members, when they do engage, they like or comment. But as far as most of these newsworthy posts go, there's no shares. People aren't, putting the post outside of the realm. So it's not garnering attention. It's people who maybe don't know what the ACA does or haven't even heard of the ACA. They're not getting the level of exposure they could be getting when you have almost 17,000 followers. So I'll take us down now to my suggestions. So for suggestions here, obviously, as I was just kind of talking about, I told them for a suggestion, it's got to be the implement of hashtags and trying to, I guess I wouldn't even say push, but more or less encourage your community to get involved, share the post, leave a comment, leave a like, leave an interaction. When you have 17,000 people following you and you get two people to engage on a single post, there's something's not working the way it should. One of my suggestions that I didn't really put in here was I was curious to find out whether or not the ACA has a single individual running each social media or if it's one person running multiple social medias because Facebook has the biggest, community on it. I would hope that they would at least have one person devoted strictly to Facebook posts to make sure that these posts are top quality because this is your biggest community. This is where you're going to get your biggest reach, your biggest exposure, your biggest push. So my suggestion would be if they don't already have one singular person devoted to Facebook, there should be. I also, as a suggestion, I put they should maybe start a series, right? If we go back to this graph, you can look. Student student work in news essentially had 3 posts, but garnered this much support, this much engagement. Besides the likes, student work also tended to be the most like have the most comments and the most shares, right? So clearly there is a want and a need by the community and the followers to see, how the ACA is helping these students, how they're, implementing the skills that they're teaching them. So I figured, or my suggestion would be, why not have the ACA do a weekly series, where they post either one specific student's work, a school, like a group of students at a certain school's work, and just, get something going that people can look to or expect once a week or twice a week, right? It's like I compared it in my suggestion here. It's like a TV show has loyal followers, like people who are dedicated to Grey's Anatomy. Watch it as soon as it comes out. The day they don't want to watch it. You kind of want to garner that type of fan base and that follower type, where you want to give them a reason to be involved. You want to give them a purpose to be engaged with the community, to have that desire to be a part of something, right? So maybe it's a series. Uh, Maybe it's just a simple post of, let's see how many likes or engagements we can get today and share to anyone that may be interested. Maybe it's whether that's in regards to discounts or anything. It could be whatever you want, but just something that can, draw people in. Not only that are people involved already, but people that are, following the people that are in the community. People who are on the brink, they could easily be there, but they're just haven't been touched by it yet. Those people who are close enough, but just not there yet. Something that can maybe draw them in, I think would be really perfect. Um, Obviously, I talked a little bit more about, hashtags again, and also just more little tips and tricks, trying to encourage, the users in the post. Like, hey, we would love and appreciate if you would share the post. Something just so simple at the end of a post that would say, hey, we would love it, we would love if you would share the post and spread the news. Something as small as that can encourage people, to share it and get it out there and spread the word. So that was just some of my recommendations. Overall, as I talked about here, I thought Facebook was really well done. I really liked the way it's set up. I felt like any of the tabs that I wanted to access were easy to use. I felt like really the only thing that could be changed, like that would make a significant impact, was maybe the types of posts, how they're formatted, and truly just changing that format to be more effective and more efficient. I didn't really see anything other that was so like stand out wrong. But something else I talked about here just before I ended off was your biggest following is Facebook, but I didn't see any encouragement of other platforms, right? Implement those other platforms into some posts, maybe make a YouTube series or a Twitter series, Instagram story, something that you can spread your following out, right? I mean, not everyone uses Facebook. So, say, hey, if you don't have Facebook, try and follow us on this, that, or that. I didn't see any indication that there was other types of media to follow that were active as active as Facebook. So that would really be it. Overall, it was a lot of fun, breaking this down and reading on everything. I hope the information we've compiled is useful to some degree, and I hope if you do implement these changes that they do work and that they do give you the results that you were hoping for. Overall, it's been great. Thank you so much to everyone in class. To Mr. Oliver, thank you for the opportunity to help work with you. Um, that's about it. Thank you.
Hi, it's Briasha here. Okay, so based on I did the YouTube portion for the group research project, and based on my findings, I noticed that the content it's really nice. A lot of vibrant colors. The topics are interesting, and the YouTube videos that are on ACA's YouTube channel are very doable for grade school kids. The thing that I noticed was that the views were low. So it's great content, but the views were low. So I looked, and when I researched the engagement, the analytics for the YouTube channel, it was revealed that only 1% of their followers were actually engaging in the content. So they have 105 subscribers on YouTube, but the percentage of those subscribers that are actually watching the videos are only 1%. So it's safe to say that they need more followers, they need more engagement, or there's a disconnect between the subscribers and the content that is on the page. So when I went to their Instagram page that has I think approximately 3,900 followers, I noticed that there wasn't a lot of posts that drove traffic to their YouTube channel. So I think it would be beneficial to leverage some of the followers that they have on Facebook and Instagram to draw traffic to that YouTube channel. The last post that drove traffic, they're still consistent with posting on YouTube. They're posting on YouTube maybe like a couple videos out the week, even still to this day. But the last post on their Instagram page to drive traffic to their YouTube channel was on April 19th. That's a very big gap. And it could be the reason why people aren't engaging, because they don't know about it. It's easy to forget if the last post was maybe like a month ago. So my recommendation would be to post more to explain what PACE is, because the name of the program, the online learning program, is called PACE. So if you engage and you post videos that are informative about what you're offering on your YouTube channel, you can leverage those followers to your YouTube channel. I also think that I know that whenever we were speaking in class, the ACA representative told us that they work very closely with schools. They bring projects and online and learning in the classroom for different schools. I think it would be beneficial right now that we're going through the pandemic if they connect with those schools and provide them with that YouTube link that provides online learning for arts and music and dance. I think that would work out. So this would be a great opportunity to gain more attraction to your page, considering that all kids right now are learning online. And I looked at many of the videos. They're very informative. I think it's very simple. Like me as a parent, I definitely believe that I could do a lot of those things with my kids. So I think that another thing, when you click on the Linktree link that is located on the Instagram page, the link only says Pace Online. If I'm thinking about myself as a new customer, I don't know what Pace Online is, but I do know what subscribe to my channel is. So even if I don't know what's on your channel, if I see subscribe to my channel, I'm gonna click it and I'm gonna see what you have, and then I click on the video and I see that this is informative to my kids. I'm gonna show it to my kids. So I feel like maybe that could be just a suggestion, to put subscribe to our channel as the link for the link tree instead of Pace Online, for someone who might not know exactly what that is. And due to the fact that you're not currently explaining consistently what Pace Online is, maybe if you were explaining what Pace Online was a little bit more on the Instagram, then I could see the link being Pace Online. But because many people don't know what it is, due to lack of exposure, I think it would be beneficial just to put, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I really hope this was helpful. It was so fun researching ACA. I didn't know all the things that ACA did, so I thought that it was very beneficial to learn. And I also feel like they have a lot to offer. I just think that more people need to know about it. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day, and I hope everyone is safe. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Brock Onstall. I was a part of Group 3, and my section of the final research project was the Twitter of the ACA. Let me begin. The ACA's Twitter has not made a post since September 21st, 2018. Up until then, the ACA's Twitter was relatively active, with at least one post per week. Their posts range from showcasing individual artists at the end of the event themselves, the audience members, and their employees. Their Twitter had a smaller following than opposed to the other accounts, with 4,766 followers, and they were following 2,396 accounts as of this paper. The majority of their posts never really garnered a huge interaction from their audience, with mainly only getting 1 to 2 likes and even fewer retweets. I would like to focus on the very low interaction of out of their 1,742 tweets, and why it's like that. So I posted a screenshot here of what their Twitter looks like, and I'm going to talk about it. The ACAs typically only use Twitter as a platform to announce their upcoming events. If there was an event, the ACA made sure to let their followers know about it. However, after looking through many of their posts about the events, the ACA linked their Instagram posts to it instead of posting the graphic on Twitter too. Pictures, videos, and articles typically garner more likes and retweets than just regular tweets on Twitter as a whole. So by posting the link on Instagram to the Instagram post, it takes away the visual aspect from the tweet, which could explain the low interaction on the page. Going through the past ACA's posts, I started focusing on their likes, retweets, mentions on Twitter. I found that they're very good at liking all of the posts that mention the ACA on their Twitter that was hosted. However, they weren't good at retweeting posts from their members. 100% of the ACA's Twitter retweets were either from journalists or artists they hosted. The biggest appeal of Twitter is how interactive it is. Artists from around the world can interact with all of their fans, and in return the fans will feel more connected. Here, post another picture that I'm going to talk about here, but this is just their mentions and what they're looking like, and I want to point out February 24th, a very recent date. After researching the ACA's Twitter, it seems like they became inactive on the platform because of low interaction rates. However, Twitter is such a powerful platform to garner attention from younger generations. They are missing out on a huge potential market by not being active. I strongly believe that the Twitter could easily be a game changer for the ACA because of how interactive it is. And it's not like there's not a market here. Even though they have not been active since 2018, they're still being tweeted about in their mentions. There is a market there, and ACA needs to utilize it again, but changing how they handle their Twitter in the past. See, like I said, February 24th. Now I want to go down to my recommendations for them. Based on my research, I strongly recommend that the ACA to get back on Twitter. I suggest that whenever they do, they become active again to also be more interactive on the platform. Twitter was never the ACA's main platform. It suffered from that. If the ACA's increase the engagement on the platform, they will be able to garner more attention to their events and gain a younger crowd at their events as well. They can start by retweeting and commenting on posts made about them from their fans. Doing this will result in a more connected feeling for both of the parties involved. Also, I highly suggest that they make either new graphics for their Twitter posts or just show what the Instagram post is with a link to the original post. Doing this will make their tweets look more visually appealing, which in return would help more of the overall interaction. Doing these two things, I think, could drastically increase the likes and retweets on the platform. Thank you for your time.